All right, let's get on with our third topic here tonight. Third topic is Oklahoma House passes bill restricting marriage to people of faith. Let's get on. Here we go.
It was initially reported that the Oklahoma House passed a bill restricting marriage just to religious people. Okay, so the initial reports were the bill would restrict the right to marry to people of faith. It would mandate that all marriage licenses be approved by members of the clergy. This is House Bill 1125. It's, of course, sponsored by a Republican named Todd Russ. It's outrageous. It's a radical proposal. It would basically end secular marriage in Oklahoma. It's obviously a religious test. It's an establishment of religion by the state, if I've ever seen one. But I looked more deeply into the bill, and it's even more insane than this. If you look at page 9 of House Bill 1125, it actually says, quote, an ordained or authorized preacher of the gospel, priest, or other ecclesiastical dignitary, or a rabbi who's at least 18 years old are required for a marriage. That's going well beyond even people of faith. You've got to be a Christian or a Jew. Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, certainly, I mean, atheists, of course, they're just trash in the eyes of people like Todd Russ. They also can't get married according to the detail of this law.
It's an interesting one. I guess yeah, Oklahoma seems like the right place for it. They've been making headlines for quite some time now.
Not that you needed us to tell you this, though, but this, you know what this is about, right, Lewis?
What this particular bill is about?
Yeah, what is it
about
really
gay marriage.
about? It's, of course, about gay marriage.
Yeah.
Of course. Now, the Senate will hopefully kill this, but it is about gay marriage. Under the legislation, atheists and others not wanting to be married by a religious official could file an affidavit through the court clerk's office claiming a common law marriage. Gay people would not be able to do that. So by requiring this religious marriage, which presumably the clergy they've outlined wouldn't be able to do, and without legal gay marriage on common law for gay people, it essentially makes it impossible for gay people to get married. And if you're going to tie marriage to religion, then we should definitely remove the tax exemption from churches. That'll never happen, but I also don't think this bill will ever be made into law.
Yeah, here do I, but the thing about it is they've amended the bill to put judges also back on the list. Supposedly they were on the list, and then they put them back on the list where who can issue marriage certificates. Some judges, government getting involved. It's like, what the fuck, really? Tell them, you know, people who, and of course, you know, we see what happened with Doma, and it's just another attack, you know, by the Christians, by the religious right conservatives out there. It's sad. It really is sad. But the one thing I want to talk about is I wonder what the state thinks about divorces. You know, if they want to try to hold some kind of, you know, or implement some kind of Christian law. What about divorces? Are they going to abolish the concept of divorce? Since the Bible seems to be so against it. I mean, like you look at Mark 19:7-9, because of your hardness of heart, Moses permitted you to divorce your wives. But from the beginning, it has not been this way. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife, except for immortality, and marries another woman commits adultery. And then in Luke 16:18, everyone who divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery. And who marries a woman divorced from her husband commits adultery. It's pretty silly, huh?
Yeah, you know,
how subjective, how cherry picking. Yeah, good.
I'm pretty proud of the last couple companies I've worked for because they actually acknowledge domestic partnerships, whether they be straight or gay or whatever. I'm a straight guy. I just think that
he just likes cock on the side.
Exactly. You know, I'm like 99% straight.
Damn, that was pretty good off the cuff.
Not totally straight, you know. I do like to look at dick when I watch porn and stuff, you know. Girl on girl, you know, whatever. But you know, when you're talking about freaking limiting marriages and shit like that on a governmental level, and you have private businesses that I personally have worked for who are okay with it, who do you think is progressing and doing the right thing there? Wait, you would think that if the government was to pass a bill like that, they would be regressing. And this is the small government crowd, by the way.
Yeah.
The small government crowd telling no, now we're going to make all these restrictions on how you can and can't get married, and we're going to tell you who you can and can't like love or get together with or be with or like have rights that normal fucking couples get. I mean, I think it's kind of ridiculous that we basically reward marriage, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is
we
pretty sad when you think about it.
reward families, instead of rewarding marriage. Marriage makes little to no sense. You'll have people like Bill O'Reilly who constantly push the like Catholic agenda where like if everyone just got married, everything would be better. Like no
Right.
children would be born out of wedlock because everyone would be married and it would be great because your life is instantly better when you're married. Ask married people. They'll tell you how awesome their lives are.
Yeah.
It's just fucking ridiculous. And I think it's I don't know. I say give gay people the right to get married so they can be miserable like the rest of the married people.
it's a good way to- it's a good
Well,
way to
that
put it.
was
Good
that
joke.
kind of goes into what I was going to say about it. I'm actually kind of surprised how many people don't. I guess they don't understand that how like the marriage thing works. Like the first thing you do is go through the state. When you do your little, your reception and the preacher and all that kind of thing. At least that's how it is here. I'm assuming that's how it is all over America. At least that's
It was here.
what you do. It's totally a secular thing, and if you want to do the religious ceremony, that's your option. Is that not the way it is everywhere that you know of? I
yeah.
know that's how it is
I-
here.
For me, I
Yeah,
had to go
it's-
down to the courthouse.
Yeah,
I went to
justice
the
of
courthouse
peace.
with my wife. We got the paperwork because we have to first talk to the clerk there and file the fact that we're going to get married. Then you get all the shit, the forms you got to fill out, all that. You take it to whoever is going to be the official at whoever's officiating the ceremony. It doesn't matter if it's religious, secular, who the fuck it is, as long as it's someone who can actually marry you in that state, who has the ability by law to marry in that state. You take this form to them. They fill it out, witnesses, all that other shit. You send it back to the government. They send you the actual marriage license.
Yeah, so it's all technically through the state. It's a state contract.
Yeah, it's-
They're trying to force theocracy.
Yeah, it happened to me with Justice of Peace. I think it's called in many states, Justice of Peace. Where
Yeah, that's
you
what we
go
call it
there
here.
and you go just like Paul described the same thing with me. It's exactly what me and my ex-wife did.
I had
Justice
a
of
humanist
Peace, yeah.
marry us.
I had to judge. It was judge. He was
But
a
either
good
way,
judge.
it was secular.
It was
that's what I'm
secular. Yeah,
saying.
it was secular in
exactly.
nature.
You have the option. You
Uh,
want to do the religious thing,
correct.
you have the option. But
Yep.
Absolutely
But they're
right.
trying to force. They're trying to force religion. They're trying to force the theocracy onto this shit.
Well,
and
Joe-
you know how well that goes over. We
Yeah.
see how well theocracies are thriving throughout the fucking globe, right?
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
And Joe came up with a great point about the divorce thing because I watched a recent clip about, I think it was a florist that said they wouldn't provide for gay people getting married. That it was in Indiana, and they were, or maybe it was Georgia, who was thinking about doing the same law.
And they're different sins, yeah.
They were like, we don't condone that. And so the reporter asked, he's like, well, what about people that are getting married for a second time? Like they've gotten divorced. How about that? And they're like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
it's totally just to reinforce their bigotry and give them a leg to stand on, which they are desperate for.
Exactly. And like you said,
and
that
they-
report, TJ, was basically the guy, I know who you're talking about, I watched that, and he basically said, well, they're different sins. Now, well, Christians basically say, well, sin is a sin. There's no extreme, there's no, like, I guess
picking
you
and
could-
choosing.
yeah, there's no, I guess sin is sin. There's no, like, this is a minor sin, this is a major sin.
There's no
there's
levels,
levels
of sin,
of sin.
except
Correct, thank
they
you.
have stated in the past there are levels of sin.
Well, of
the
course, that's
ultimate
church-
one is
there's
certain
levels.
things.
There's levels of sin
God
when it's
damn, they're
convenient.
Yeah. God, they flip flop so much.
Well, one thing I want to say is basically on the concept of marriage. People need to understand that before any monotheistic religion ever existed, marriage has been taking place in society, or
Nope,
different
it's from God.
societies. Okay, Paul. Good point. Good rebuttal there. But no, seriously,
Well,
I'm like, we could go back all the way to the Roman Empire before even Christianity or any monotheistic religion ever existed. They were doing marriage ceremonies. Might be not exactly what we do, but there was marriage ceremonies. Even gays were getting married back then in the Roman Empire, before Christianity was part of the Roman Empire in the 4th century. Okay.
Even monkeys have
they
sex.
They need to understand that it's just they don't own the concept of marriage. Muslims, Jews, Christians, they have different ceremonies. They do not own the concept of marriage. End the story.
Actually, I think you might be wrong on that, Joe. That's why I said that. It does come from God. We have an esteemed guest tonight who can attest to that fact.
Okay, Creation Cat, what we gotta say, man? Come on, CC.
Well, I think you guys are missing the major aspect of this argument here, and this is not a religious issue. Okay, fundamentally, this is a legal issue, and the question is, who owns the patent on marriages? Okay, and clearly, it's the Lord God. Okay, he came up with the concept of marriage in the Garden of Eden. It's been at least 8,000 centuries since that happened. So naturally, it's very hard to find the actual patent. It's been kind of passed around from like library to library.
Did you say 8,000 centuries?
I know. I thought Christians say
you caught that too?
6,500.
Well, that would mean that Creationist Cat is
I'm
not
sorry.
a young Earth
I mean
Creationist
800. Sorry,
No,
800
you're
centuries.
backpedaling now. No.
800 centuries.
800 decades? 800 decades? No? We trying to get CC here.
You're looking for like 6,000 years. That's the number you're looking for.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Okay.
Okay,
and,
good.
60
Look,
centuries.
just let me finish here.
Sorry.
That's all I want to do. Okay. So, what that comes down to is those who believe in God and those who don't, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. What I'm saying here is that if you don't want to get married, there's a lot of other options for you. You can be BFFs. You could be besties. If you're into witchcraft, you could hold some sort of unholy blood sacrifice, merging your hellbound souls together. And, you don't have to take marriage, which God has the patent for. It's just not, it's not cool. It's not legal. And, that's it. Gay marriage is a violation of copyright. That's what it comes down to.
Well, is this God's patent? Is that part of the U.S. patent system? I don't know. What number is that patent, by the way?
It predates. Well, like I said,
Somebody actually in the chat just said the patent number is 2 because prostitution came first.
That's a good one, whoever wrote that.
Well, look, I actually do think that we should, you guys were talking earlier about, rewarding marriages. I think rewards are good. Perhaps when people get straight marriages, they should get treats. Don't people like treats? Cats like treats. I can't hear anything.
we're still here. We're just laughing at what was said in the chat. I'm sorry.
All right.
Paul should be selling newspapers in the 1930s. That's what Dark Matter said.
And hey, one last thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go CC. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, maybe these cake makers, maybe they won't make a gay wedding cake, but I guarantee you they'll make a gay divorce cake. So if you get a gay divorce, you'll get yourself a cake.
Well, one thing I'm wondering, CC, I'm actually kind of surprised you're against gay marriage because once we let gays get married, people be able to marry their animals and their brooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you might actually get nice lady. I know you were on Christian Mingle and looking around for human ladies, so you might have some more options there.
You could get human vagina.
Well, honestly, that is an advantage. However, honestly, it doesn't really matter because in the actual Bible, okay, it does actually say that humans and cats that were zapped by God through the internet can marry. It's just people aren't aware of that verse because it was it wasn't entered into the current Bible, sort of like a clerical error. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but very soon, what I am going to call the Bible Part 2, or I guess it's technically Part 3, since the New Testament is kind of Part 2.
Correct. Yeah.
any day now, I'm going to release the Bible Part 3, and there are a lot of whoppers. There are a lot of things that people didn't realize. There's a lot of foreshadowing of current events, such as cats that were zapped by God through the internet making videos on YouTube, and people being idiots if they don't subscribe to me.
Yeah, fuck the foreshadowing. Does it include foreskins?
There is a little bit of talk about foreskins. You know, there's a reason why God put in all that stuff about the foreskins in the Bible, okay? You want me to explain?
But was it because 5 skins were evil?
No. Hardy har har. No.
God really loves the cock.
God made man, and he put a little extra skin on the penis without realizing it, okay? And then he was like, fuck! I put this little tip of skin on the dicks, and man, I don't want to go back and just create a whole other human. I'm gonna mandate it that they have to slice that off from now on. Okay, it was like kind of workaround for God.